Peace, everybody. So, Nipsey Hussle, rapper and entrepreneur, Nipsey Hussle has passed away due to violence. He was shot in front of his store, of course. Many people know this by now. I believe TMZ leaked the story. And it's very unfortunate. I remember a couple years ago, I watched a documentary on Nipsey Hussle and the formulation of his store, and it talked about his career and the things that he and his brother, I believe his brother, both came out of just to make it. Like the stuff that he went through just to get to that point of being able to become like an entrepreneur and everything was amazing, man, to see that storyline, and just to see how far he took it in music. And to the point where he was up for Rap Album of the Year. I believe Cardi B beat him this past year, not too long ago. It's amazing to see somebody to come up out of California, where he's from, to come up out of gang life, try to make it through gang life, and overcome certain aspects of that in order to be successful. I believe he was definitely a reader, because he was one of the first artists, and he might not have been the very first to do this, but he was one of the first artists, at least in his generation and time of the crops of rappers, to sell his album for, I believe it was $1,000 he sold his album for, and he only sold a limited amount and sold out. And that's when I heard about him prior to that, because I remember when I first seen him, I said, oh man, he looks like Snoop Dogg. He could be Snoop Dogg's son or something. And he was tall and looked just like Snoop a little bit. Like he could play Snoop in a movie. But anyway, I had never really listened to his music per se. But then after he put that album out that he sold it for $1,000 on Bandcamp. And I said, wow, man, that's amazing. He must really have a draw. So he was on my radar in terms of people to pay attention to and listen to a little bit. Listen to a lot of his music. He had really good quality music. A lot of his music reminded me of that early, mid-2000 Rockefeller. And he was from the West Coast, but he had a lot of soulful beats. And, you know, he had music that you could ride to. So, kudos to his music. And his last album, Victory Lap. Yeah, that was it, man. That album, he reached his peak there. I believe he reached his peak right there on that album. But he has a mixtape called A Bullet Ain't Got a Name on It. A Bullet Ain't Got a Name on It. Now, the flip side of this is Nipsey Hussle, for as great as he was in terms of business, even what he planned on doing later on, things he had in the iron to do next, he still wore that Crip as a badge of honor. And I know you don't ever want to forget where you came from and the people you've affiliated with to some degree, but the biggest thing about that is you leave that and let that be a neighborhood thing. Most people who became gang members or affiliates of gangs in California was just based off of neighborhoods. I mean, if you were born and raised and grew up in a neighborhood, you were already gang affiliated just because you had friends in the neighborhood that may have been gang members or family members who were gang members, in spite of you really wanting to be a part of it or not. So, with that said, as he was turning the curve, and it became a little bit fashionable for a lot of other artists to really claim that, i.e. Lil Wayne, i.e. Chris Brown, and he was really who he said he was. And there, you know, he did songs with YG, bridging that gap, which was amazing, that he could bridge the gap with the Crips and the Bloods in that way. And He was all about building people up. But here's the other thing about Nipsey Hussle. There was many times he got into fights. I would assume maybe shootouts with some people and it may have been justified that he got in those fights, or maybe not, but he would get into a lot of fights, and actually in more recent time he did. And so I bring this up to say a bullet ain't got no name on it. You're still claiming Crip, still getting into gang fights. And then one of your last tweets was, and I might be misquoting this, but it is, what did he say? He said, it's a blessing to have enemies. Now, I get that, because if you have enemies, it'll motivate you to be better, be on guard, all these things. But he says this an hour before he gets shot. And it hurts, because I seen a clip of his lifeless body and them trying to revive. Oh my goodness, man. That hurts. It's a shame. And it's a shame because now people would get shot or die or whatever, but it was never broadcasted. But man, like people were there on site videotaping. Hey, this is where he right in front of the store where he passed away. Man, it's or got shot. Like, man, this is crazy. Automatically, I seen people monetizing their YouTubes with this man, where this man was shot at. This is horrible. So it's just a bad situation for his family, I'm sure. But I would say my bottom line is just watch your energy. Everybody be aware of your energy. Be aware of the people around you. Be aware of how you carry yourself. And if you're from a place that is not the most savory place, and you know that there's things that could happen there, and you've used to those things happening there, and I'm talking about like either gang banging or violence or things of that nature, and you're still doing business there, or you're trying to give back and you're trying to formulate some things, you have relationships there, you grew up there, all that. Find somebody else to manage those things for you, so you don't necessarily have to go back, because you can always empower other people to do that. And periodically drop in. Make sure, if you're of his stature, where he had a lot of money and a lot of people depending on him, please have security. Walk with a sense of security. If you've changed your life and turned a curve, focus on living a new life. Don't continue to involve yourself in things in the past that brought hurt or harm to you. Walk a new life. Walk in a new way, especially if you have a lot of people looking up to you and depending on you. I mean, this guy, he seemed like a pretty strong guy. It seems like a pretty focused guy. So it's just kind of disheartening to see how he went out, because I would imagine that he wouldn't have gone out that way. But I have to remember, too, he was 33 years old, which is still at that point where many things start clicking and making sense. It seemed like it made sense to him early, but still young and, you know, just still affiliated with many things that caused us. I don't know what was the circumstances. And who knows? I mean, there's a lot of theories out there that he was about to make a movie about Dr. Sebi's life. He is in the works of dealing with some type of tech company. Who knows? Or it could just been some jealousy, because, you know, he's very popular right now. And all of that breeds envy, hate, jealousy. And if you're still affiliated with some of the same people that you affiliated prior to your success, it can cause a lot of problems. So all I gotta say is, you know, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, condolences to his family, definitely his child, or if he had other children, but I know he had a child with Lauren London. And this is just tough, man. It's sad because it's another rapper dead. Another rapper dead. And it seems like rappers are dying every year, like without fail. And not just because of just shootings. Some of them's, over drugs. But man, this is an epidemic with rappers. Rappers are dying, man. Mac Miller, rest in peace. Goodness. Tentacion, like all these different people are turning the curves in their careers, and then boom. It's weird, man. Never would imagine. I mean, the biggest things we had to deal with was Eazy-E and HIV, and then Tupac shot Vegas, and then Biggie shot a little bit later on. And then after that, we kind of calmed down on all the killings, and then a few others dropped in there. Big L, Freaky Ty from Lost Boys. Man, the list goes on. So this is disheartening. Jam Master Jay. Oh my goodness. Man. Listen. Let's live, man. Live. Let's not kill each other. Let's not hurt each other. If you're upset with somebody, just walk away. Just figure out a different way to deal with it. Take it back in the day and just knuckle up with somebody, man. You don't have to use a gun. That's the cheap, easy way out. And it doesn't change anything. Just make things worse for you and everybody involved. So with that said, I've said it more than enough. Hugo knows as much as I know about Nipsey. This is all you're going to get. But thanks. Please like, subscribe, comment, whether you like it, whether you hate it. Up is down, left is right. What's going on in the world right now? All right, peace.